Hello there, my name's Kiki.
And mine is Kai Kai. ACTAsia wanted us to talk to you today about our world and the animals that we share it with. It's going to be fun. Our friend Jonathan will be telling you all about it. Hello, Jonathan.
Hi there, Kiki. Hello, Kai Kai. And hello, children. Let's start off with what we call the web of life. You know how most of you have a mum and dad, maybe a sister or brother, aunts and uncles. Well, so do animals. All animals have a mum and dad, and probably brothers and sisters too. They might even have grandmas and granddads. All of us are part of the really big, ginormous, huge family of life on Earth. But the difference between us and animals is that we can make choices that don't hurt us, other people, animals, trees and plants. We are able to think about or see in our heads what might happen if we do things. This is why making the right choice is such a big responsibility for all of us. We have to choose how we treat everything else in the world. Will you be kind or will you be nasty? It would make this mummy dog very sad if her puppy got hurt or taken away. A good way to think about it is this: treat other things like you would like to be treated. All of us like it when nice things happen to us, don't we? But wait, it's not just about other people and animals. You also have to choose how you behave about everything. Where you live, how you treat the plants and trees, what things you throw away, how much water and energy you use. All of these things are part of the environment and part of the web of life that you are also part of. We live together in the world with everything else, so we all need to get along together. What would it be like if there were no more trees, or if all the rivers were filled with trash and plastic bottles? Ugh, horrible. Trees and plants are super important for all living things on the Earth because they make a gas called oxygen and release it into the air. And guess what needs oxygen to stay alive? We do. All animals and humans breathe the air, so we should really say thank you to the trees and plants. We get a lot of our water from rivers and lakes, but we can't drink it if it's dirty or polluted, because it would make both us and the animals that drink it become sick. That's why it's important that you know that the choices that you make affect everything else that lives on the Earth. You probably didn't think you could make that much difference, did you? Well, you really can. Okay, now we need to tell you something amazing. Animals grow up just like we do. Have you ever seen a baby animal playing? They sometimes fall over and bump into things, just the same as you did when you were little. They learn the same way too, by playing or by a family member showing them how to do something. That's why baby animals need to stay with their family until they've grown a bit and learnt all they need to know. A puppy needs to learn how to be a dog, and he can't do that if his family isn't there for him. But even more amazing than that, animals have feelings too. They can feel sad or happy, lonely or worried, just like you. Do you think this dog is happy or sad? He's wagging his tail, which usually means that he's happy. But he might be feeling nervous or afraid as well. It's the same with us. Sometimes we smile and look happy when we're really feeling sad or nervous. But at least you can tell someone how you feel inside. So unless you know the dog really well and you're sure how he's feeling, it's best just to leave him alone. Which do you like to feel, happy or sad? Yes, nobody likes to feel hurt or sad, and it's the same with animals. We humans need to make sure that our animal friends are feeling well and happy. Most of the time, this just means not being unkind or nasty to them. But it also means thinking about how they live. Do you think it's okay to keep animals in cages, like you might see in a zoo? Would you like to live in a cage all the time? If you have a pet, then you're responsible for that animal's life. This means that every day you must give your pet food and clean water, somewhere safe to sleep, somewhere to exercise, and lots of kindness so that they feel secure. They deserve your understanding, which means that looking after a pet is a big job for you. There are lots of animals you could have as a pet, and lots more that aren't such a good idea. But let's look a bit closer at two favorites. The first we'll talk about is rabbits. They can live for 10 years, so you need to make sure you'll be there for them all that time. They need really large cages so that they can run around. Also, fresh vegetables and water every day, just like you do. Rabbits don't like to live on their own. They get lonely and sad, so it's a good idea to have two living together. If you have a dog as a pet, then you're very lucky. They can grow up with you and be your best friend all their life. They like to live with humans and they're very smart, which means you need to play games with them and take them for walks. Otherwise, they might get bored and sad. Dogs need to drink water just like you, especially if it's a hot day, and all dogs hate to be chained up for a long time. Every dog should wear a collar with a name tag attached, so people will know the name of the dog and who they belong to. This dog is called Mimi. Your pet needs to be kept clean and healthy, and always remember to wash your hands after playing with your pet and cleaning out his cage or bed. There are a few things that animals and humans can pass on to each other, like fleas or skin problems. But this won't happen if you keep both yourself and your pet clean and healthy. If your pet seems to be unwell in any way, then take him to the animal doctor, just as someone would take you to the doctor if you were unwell. An animal doctor is called a veterinarian. You need to teach your dog how to behave by training him to sit, to stay off the sofa, and not to jump up on people. Watch David as he tells Mimi to sit. Mimi always has a leash on so that he can't run off too far if he sees something interesting. He has his own bed and his own bowls of food and water. Mimi loves to run as fast as he can and chase balls and sticks. He needs exercise every day. He loves to be stroked and patted. It makes him happy. He doesn't like to have his tail pulled, and he won't like it if you look right into his eyes. In the dog world, this might mean that you want to fight. You shouldn't try to play with a dog that is sleeping or eating, in case you surprise him. Mummy dogs might not like you to get too close to their puppies because she might think that you want to hurt them, and it's her job to protect them. One more thing, don't put your face too close to a dog's face. He might see it as an insult or as a challenge. Remember, if you haven't met a certain dog before, then you shouldn't try and make friends straight away. Ask the owner if you can stroke the dog first. Even more important, never touch a stray dog, especially if he looks as if he's ill or is acting in a strange way, such as dribbling a lot and snarling. If the dog is very ill, he might even have a rare disease called rabies. You shouldn't run away if a dog comes towards you because he might think you want to play chase. It's best just to stand still. So although rabbits and dogs can make good pets, it's not a good idea to have an animal that's hard to look after, like a snake, a turtle, or a monkey. They need special food and can get big and very difficult to keep happy, because they really want to be in the wild. They can also be very strong and hard to control. Now we want to talk about compassion and empathy. You might not know these words, but they're extra special and super important. Compassion means that you feel worried or concerned if someone or an animal is feeling sad or in pain. If one of your friends were crying, would you ask what was wrong? If you would, then you would be feeling compassion for your friend. Empathy means that you can imagine or see in your head what something else feels. So if one of your friends banged his head, you can probably imagine how he feels. His head hurts. If you saw someone teasing an animal, you'd have a good idea that the animal is frightened or sad, because you would feel the same way if someone teased you, wouldn't you? But here's something else that's amazing. Animals have shown us that they can feel compassion and empathy as well. Watch all these elephants helping a baby elephant that's just too little to get out of the water hole. They're really worried about him. This bear is helping a bird that fell into a pond and got so wet that it couldn't fly anymore. He picks it up with his mouth and saves it from drowning. Can you see that these animals are very similar to people? Please, will all of you think about these two important words: compassion and empathy. Try to notice when you feel them. It usually means that perhaps you should do something. perhaps a hug for one of your friends, or perhaps stopping someone being cruel to an animal. It means that sometimes you have to be brave, but it also means that you know you're part of the circle of life on Earth. You are special, and you can make a difference, no matter how young or small you are. This is important. Perhaps it's the most important thing you will learn in your life.
Okay, we have to go now, but I'm sure all our friends from ACTAsia will answer any questions that you have. They love being asked questions.
Thank you for listening and paying attention. We hope you learned something new about our world and how you fit into it.
The Earth is home to all of us, humans, animals, plants and trees. It's filled with wonderful living things, so let's look after all of it.
Together!